So prior to 1944, the island had no permanent occupation. So no homes, no roads, no water line, power lines, anything like that. The Army was actually the first group to come over and make use of the island. It was a satellite location from Camp Davis, located over in Holly Ridge. So in 3 years, the population boomed. It grew tenfold in Holly Ridge because this new Army base was put in. And of course, we were pretty heavily involved in World War II, so they decided to make this island a site for anti-aircraft training. And it was also home of the WASPs, the Women Air Service Pilots. They never flew any combat missions, but they were essential to delivering raw materials to manufacturers to provide products for the war effort. After the war was over, the Army turned over control to the U.S. Navy, and the Navy, along with the help of the Johns Hopkins Physics Laboratory, began working on Operation Bumble Bee, which was a top-secret missile operation. So they were assigned the task of developing the ramjet rocket engine, which was the world's first supersonic rocket motor. Rather than using liquid fuel, they used a very viscous paste, and it was housed actually within the motor itself. So it was much more aerodynamic, better for short bursts of extreme power. So it would work perfect for small diameter, short range missiles. And they got the first working prototype done, and everything was built in the assembly building, which still stands today. It's still called the Assembly Building in Topsail Beach, so it's about 8 miles to our south. And that also doubles as the Missiles and More Museum. So if you guys are interested in getting a more detailed explanation of all of the Operation Bumble Bee stuff, then you can go visit the Missiles and More Museum. There they'll have on display some of the rockets and a lot of the photographs that were snapped by the folks who were working on the project. So it's really cool stuff. Anyway, so once they perfected the prototype of the ramjet rocket engine, they put it into these fuselages that were anywhere from 3 to 13 feet long. Most of them had about a 6-inch diameter, so pretty skinny missiles. They were about the size of sidewinders, similar to what would be launched off of the wings of modern-day fighter jets. So not really big bombs, pretty aerodynamic and slim. And those were launched directly off the beach. So they angled the launch ramps, which were very simple, constructed mostly of wood, and they were angled at 15 degrees straight out into the ocean. So when they launched, they would fly about 40 miles out to sea, and then they would splash land in the ocean so it wouldn't interfere with any commercial fishermen further offshore, and also gave the Navy an effective patrol perimeter. So they wouldn't have their boats spread too thin to prevent someone from finding out the top secret missile testing operation was going on. In 2 years, so from 1946 to 1948, the Navy and Johns Hopkins Physics Lab successfully launched over 200 of the rockets right off the beach. And that really was the birth of the modern jet engine. So modern aviation and also the space program beginning started right here on Topsail Island. Now, if you've driven up and down the island, you've most likely seen some of these awkward-looking 3-story tall concrete towers. Those were the observation towers that the Navy used to track the trajectory of the rockets as they left the launch ramps on the beach. So they had lots of radar equipment and photography equipment located in these towers. And they would snap pictures and track the trajectory and map the speed to make sure the rocket motors were going to be effective, fast, and accurate enough to get the job done with propelling these new missiles out. So it was a success, and in 1948 they ended the operation here, but shipped all of the unused munitions to China Lake, California, and there they further developed the ramjet rocket engine, and the first surface-to-air missile program was built there, and that was called the Talos Missile Program. So the first surface-to-air missiles were a direct result from what was accomplished here. So, pretty interesting.